Today is the 13th of June, 2022. So, thanks for tuning in to my official YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe to my official YouTube channel, like my official YouTube videos, go to my website, www.susanelane.com, which is the same as www.ladydorybell.com. And so, I'm going to go into a little bit of a satirical sort of viewpoint today in reference to this particular official YouTube video of mine. Make sure to subscribe to my official YouTube channel and share the links to my official YouTube videos as well as my journal blog, The Ornery PSA, through my website, www.susanelane.com. Again, the same as www.ladydorybell.com. So I earned 26 scuba diving certifications. Hey, and that's not satire, that's the truth. I grew up going out to the Atlantic area of the oceanic waters as a child and a teenager. It's not satire, it's the truth. And, you know, as a child, I grew into a teenager out there. It's not satire, it's the truth. And as a teenager, though, there was this movie that came out. And there were these people that I knew that had wanted to see it. I wanted to see Biodome, okay? I wanted to see that. I finally got to see Biodome. I find that romance in comparison. So there were these people, after seeing the movie, maybe somebody's heard of it, it's called Titanic, okay? It's a James Cameron film. And so, you know, it was brought forward that Titanic was this big, huge romance. There was this supposed love of whatever and whatever, okay? I'm gonna break this shit down, okay? Because I have had these situations where if people that I have met in person, face to face in person, the second they start getting a certain way about the movie Titanic, I instantly start distancing myself. Okay, so first and foremost, people who have thought this movie is romance, remember, okay, the boat sank and did not surface, okay? The only way this boat has surfaced is when they've sent submarines with all sorts of mechanical, what have you, to rip it apart to then bring it to the surface, okay? There were thousands of people who died through either drowning or freezing to death or being smacked into a propeller after it capsized, okay? But sure, you got the Celine Dion song, My Heart Will Go On. Yeah. Remember, the piece of jewelry is a stone that is a color of blue. Sure. So, okay, you know, so you got, this guy, I don't know who he is. I don't know if I've met him in person, face to face in person. However, what type of messed up romance relationships has this guy had? Because to portray this movie, okay, as romance and schnuggles and sorts of what have you. Okay, I'm a biological female. I was a tomboy growing up, okay? So with this upbringing, I have a bit of a different viewpoint. Back then when that movie came out, because when the teenagers in high school that I went to St. John Vianney High School with, not all of them, a few of them were like, we're gonna see this, it's a romance. No, we were supposed to see Biodome. I wanna see Biodome. I finally got to see Biodome in 2022. Nonetheless, maybe that'll that'll be a good thing. Comparison. So in this movie, these people who went to see this and wanted to, okay, they were like, oh, no, Susan, remember we're in high school. Oh, wait, we're gonna go see this romantic movie. The Titanic, like, have you heard of a history book? Have you heard of this? And these individuals, yeah, so what? Yeah, the boat, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? You want to go see a movie about a bunch of people? So think about this, males or females. You want to go see a movie where a bunch of people die? The fuck is wrong with you? How do you find that romance? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Romance is supposed to be about life. Okay, no, that's fine. No, that's fine. Well, I want to see Biodome. It seems so much funnier, and maybe there could be romance, but like, and there, ironically, there is. But nonetheless, what is wrong with you people thinking that? Okay, let's go over some of these details, okay? And for those who once knew me in person, face to face in person, that knew, and made fun of me because I didn't know pop culture, I'm gonna do some pop culture. I'm literally gonna pop some of that, I guess. So the irony, teenagers, as far as how that goes. So anyway, they go out on a boat, okay? And they are told that this boat is unsinkable regarding the Titanic. Okay. Remember, the government of whatever told these people. The government told them this back then, that the government believed that the boat was unsinkable. Okay, that's the starting point. A bunch of people were like, oh yeah, let's by the thousands pour in to this boat. However, whatever, okay? And you have your different what have yous as far as the different areas. So remember, the oceanic waters are filled with salt, okay? That's what makes it ocean in comparison to fresh water, okay? So it's got a bunch of salt inside of the oceanic waters. People who have been to spas, have you ever had a salt scrub? Well, guess where that salt is? There's, salt in the ocean, okay? So, those soft little dainty what have yous. Salt is in the ocean. That's the difference between salt water and fresh water, okay? So, but romance, somehow. Now, they get on here, okay, and they don't know what's in the ocean, okay? What different species of what have you, different sizes, never mind the icebergs, okay? Because you can actually see icebergs at some point. No. Inside the water, where there's that salt, okay? There's different species. There's octopi, there's, other little stingy whatever's like anemones or whatever, and they're everywhere. You have no idea where they are because you can't see them because, depending on the depths, it's to the bottom of the ocean and stuff like that, okay? So this is what people thought was romance. I don't know. Now, mind you, after the end of this movie, okay, for weeks and months, these people that I went to high school with, okay, if Celine Dion came on, these females fell to the ground crying, okay? It got to the point where some of the males, so I'm a tomboy, all right, so I found it funny. I high-fived some of these guys. I was like, yeah. They'd turn on Celine Dion's song, like it'd come on the radio, and they'd walk around with the boombox and just be like, you're getting all these females. couldn't understand if they cried because of the humansicles. I don't know if that was what they were crying about. They, you know, I didn't know if they were crying because of the guy that, like, in the, you know, propeller blade. You know, I didn't know if that was, I don't think that's why they were crying, though. I don't think that was, I'm gonna be honest on that. I didn't know if they were crying because of, like, the fact that the ocean is the largest cemetery in the world because of, you know, how long the ocean's been around. And if they somehow were like, oh, my heart will go on, because, you know, it's St. John Vianney High School, so it's a Catholic parochial high school, so maybe there's something, I don't know. And so, although I also have a twisted viewpoint on things, so I acknowledge that. And so I don't know if they, you know, are upset because of, I don't know, you know, having seen people just, you know, fall off the side of the boat as it broke into multiple pieces and kind of bobbed up and down and kind of at the bottom, you know, I don't know, I have no idea. No clue, I have no idea. And then we were in high school yet again, so it's one of those, yeah, I'm gonna be careful about dating. Because I must have a very different interpretation as to what romance is compared to all of you. So I got into scuba diving. Okay, so I had work that I was going to go take care of, and all these people in these various classes were like, oh, we're going to go on this romantic date, we're going to go on a cruise, which is the equivalent of the Titanic, okay, so you know. And then when we go on this cruise, again, Titanic, you know, we're gonna have this romantic scuba, run, turtle, run. Whose idea was it? Doesn't matter when you run. You know, unless you want to see stuff, that's one thing to be like, okay, that's cool to see stuff, you know, that's different, but that's not romance. Again, because the ocean is, you know, deep. That's why it's the ocean, okay? There's all these species of you don't know what's in there. You don't know how many boats are at the bottom of the ocean that are still there, and or they just disintegrated and are in the water, okay? I have no idea. You've got giant lobsters that are, you know, I like lobster bass, okay? I know I'm not the only one. However, you know, there is lob versions and stir versions and bisque versions, okay? And they are larger than a several-story building, and they're in the ocean. Somehow people find this location romantic, and I don't know why. So when I was earning my 26 scuba diving certifications, this is how this went. Anytime the females, especially most specifically, had talked about their romantic trip that they were going to have, this was usually my response. Go over here. And so, you know, then you have the situation where you have a male who knows that a female is in a relationship with another male. And so somehow these people find this romantic that this male covets another male's female, okay? And this whole situation occurs, okay? And then, how is it, okay, so again, I have a different view of romance. So she stands at the bow of the ship in part of the movie, and she's like, oh, yes, oh, whatever, sort of whatever, right? Think about that. So you got sea spray. You got all that salt. That's smacking in the face. Although I guess depending on where certain preferences are. Well, I guess I can understand certain things now in comparison to different viewpoints as to what certain, the difference between hunger and thirst in those capacities of different version of sexual aspects, I guess. You know, maybe, right? I don't know, okay. And so, but again, you know, you've got the oceanic spray, you've got the boat that's going like this and this and this, you know, in the ocean, because, you know, there, okay, yeah, there's the motion of the ocean, okay, ha, 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 and yet, you know, people think that's romantic. Okay, remember when people are like, oh yeah, the motion of the ocean, that's what matters. Yeah, think about that. Think about that, say. Okay, all right, so here's satire and yet truth. Okay, in the motion of the ocean, where are the waves coming from? What is in the waves other than granulated sand and salt? Just saying, I'm not the smartest crayon, okay? Not the sharpest crayon in the toolbox, in the shed, all right? However, all right, again, in the depths of the oceanic waters, there are all sorts of species of fish that have teepees, ranging in different sizes. So little teeny, tiny teepees to all sorts of sort of teepees, and like, I don't know, I just don't. Maybe it's because I grew up going to the Atlantic area of the oceanic waters when I was earning my 26 scuba diving certifications, where it's like, well, I know that in the Atlantic is where the Titanic hit an iceberg which was capable to be seen. Again, you know, with icebergs, you only see a little bit. So that's a perfect symbolic reference, okay? So you only see a little bit, despite however big the iceberg is, but there's still the rest of it that's in the oceanic waters, okay? You know, with all those fishies, with the teepees and stuff like that, all sorts of types. Alright? I'm not even going into mer people or anything like that. I'm just saying the fishies, alright? And so you got the teepees of all sorts of different types. You know? Don't let Disney fool you when it comes to that. I mean, you know, think about Finding Nemo. He swims in sea anemones. Do you know what sea anemones have? If you don't, for this sermon monologue lecture, they have like this poison, or I shouldn't say poison, it's more of a toxin in comparison. And so there's that. There's other species of fish that have toxins, okay? That, you know, like I find, okay, I'll acknowledge, I find the blue ring octopi cute. It is, it's very cute. And yet at the same time, I know it's a blue ring octopi. So as long as you're cool with a blue ring octopi, you got nothing to worry about. However, if a blue ring octopi has any sensation of being threatened, it is one of the most lethally deadly in the ocean, okay? And it's tiny. It's little. It's little. It's a great species to have on your side. Absolutely. You want to be friends with the little baby blue ring octopi. That's what you want. That's what you need. However, you know, there are plenty of those in, do you know how many eggs an octopi can lay? It don't matter if it's a little baby blue ring octopi or a really big one. It don't matter. They can lay a lot of eggs. They can. So there's all that in the oceanic waters, and these people are like, Titanic is so romantic? I don't know. Let me go over here. You people freak me out, okay? So then, okay, remember, sand and salt and all that. Then you have these seashells. Have you seen some of these seashells? Sure, you've got the clam shells that kind of have ridges and then they're smooth. But have you seen oyster shells? Do you know how spiky and pointy those are? Like, I mean, sure, they're pretty. Yeah, they make a pearl. Yeah, they're pretty. They're, you know, yum, 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 yum. And yet, have you seen the outside of the oyster shell? Sure, mushy and ooey gooey on the inside, okay. And yet still on the outside. Okay, that's all over the ocean. Different areas, okay. These females are like, this is so romantic. I don't know. I might be weird. I don't deny that though. I do not deny that. So in high school, these females are like, oh, this is going to be the most romantic movie. Whoo, whoo, whoo. Go over here. You find that romance? So then, you know, in scuba diving, when earning my 26 scuba diving certifications, females, oh, it's so, I'm gonna go over here. No, that's not a romance. No, it's not. Again, you know, okay, so these hundreds of thousands of people get onto in a boat, okay, and so, you know, you got the waves, just kind of whatever, you got whatever's in the water, whatever. There's all sorts, there's sharks, okay, there's eels, okay, there's all sorts of species, and then, how deep is the ocean? Do you know how to swim? You know, like that's another important factor. Do you know how to swim? There's currents in the ocean. I'm not talking electrical either. I'm talking actual currents. That's how waves are, okay? So there's the waves at the top of the ocean. There's waves inside of the area of the ocean. There's waves even at the bottom of the ocean. It's called a current. You see it at the shore. It's called a rip current for a reason. Sure, you also have the term undertow, but it's still got the rip current. Okay, so there's that. And these, here's romance. What is wrong with you? You find that romantic? And I got me, you know what? Fine, okay, I'm a sadist. I'm an ethical sadist, though. That's I don't know. I don't call that ethical sadist if you find that romance. No, although, you know, I guess maybe if you say you think that's romantic, you're at least giving that as the forewarning that you consider that romance, where I'm like, yeah, no, that's not romance. No, it's not. No. No. So, okay, so again, in that movie, a guy knows that a female is with a male, and he's like, hi. And then that whole thing, okay? Then, you know, as the movie, whatever goes on, the boat hits an iceberg. How do you find that romance? It literally, in the middle of the night, no, just think, okay? In the middle of the night, you're sleeping, okay? And then all of a sudden, and because the boat hit an iceberg, and all of a sudden people are screaming, the water levels are rising in the boat, and then all this sort of stuff, and then, you know, the boat that's made out of all sorts of, and then, you know, the water comes inside of the boat, and it just breaks, and then it goes with the oceanic waters, and so people are flying off the boat, landing have to be guys who have been in airborne, okay? Because I don't know, if so, guys who have been in the Army airborne, okay? Go look at the size of the average boat, okay? And so you know how it is to jump out of a perfectly good airplane. This movie, I'll acknowledge, I was like, I want to do certain things. I will jump out of a helicopter where I can hold onto the rope, okay? In comparison to jumping out of a perfectly good airplane. So those guys, whatever Army, Air Force, coasties, as far as, Navy and Marines, there are those who have jumped out of perfectly good airplanes. And so tell me how accurate, hitting the ground in comparison. I didn't see any kersplats, okay? I didn't see any kersplats. I saw people and then they bounced off. I don't think so. I don't think that happened. And that's metal. That's metal. Okay? I had issue. I didn't see, I didn't see what I thought I should see when it comes to people who hit the propeller blade. I didn't see any paint, all right? I didn't see any, anybody who's, the parachute issue. I didn't see any of that. I saw what is this? But these females were like, this is such a romantic movie. I know what's wrong with these people. I know I look as I do. However, I also, what do you mean? Why would you ever find that romance? How is that romance? Okay, so again, hundreds of thousands of people get onto a boat and they're like, romance! In comparison to a quiet getaway where you can snuggle and enjoy whatever. In comparison, no, let's go pile in a boat, all right? And do this, whatever. Just, I don't know, I guess different levels of romance, okay? So then, after the whole, oh, look, I'll do whatever. Females who are like, oh, I'll always hold on and feelings and snuggles and whatever. However, then I'll never let go. Bye. And I haven't understood how that's a romantic movie at all whatsoever. I also am about life. So romance to me is, life and living. And so, then there's eating. How do you eat? Food, to be more specific, okay? So, there's these things called forks and knives, on a boat. I don't know. I don't care what you got to do some balancing. I don't know. Because you can even see it in the Titanic where, and so, I didn't see anybody that had any of those problems either in that movie. This is another reason why I don't understand why people made fun of me for not knowing pop culture, because it's like, you believe that people were inside of a dining hall and the only problem when the Titanic hit the iceberg, you believe the movie that all that they had as a problem was a few tables that overturned. I don't know, I'll do my own research. I'll go read some books, and I will have common sense while I'm at it. Because, again, when you see Titanic, okay, has anybody ever seen because, if you think about, so the food was in these containers that were made of metal, okay? They had, some fire. Oh, no issues there. How? I don't know. there were plenty of forks and knives, but somehow all of these people who had issues inside didn't have any issues from those silverware areas. I don't know. That didn't make any sense to me. Maybe I'm a smidgen attention to detail-ish. However, common sense, okay? And so, no, that's cool, except, facts. So I got made fun of for not knowing pop culture. And yet, I have a sensation that there would be some sort of popping in reference to a fork and or knife or a container full of them. I got made fun of for that. That didn't make sense to me. I don't know. And then I dealt with the complaints because how couldn't you see how Titanic wasn't, how could you not see how romantic Titanic was? Well, so that it hit an iceberg. And then a bunch of people died, and then there was drowning, and there was freezing, and then I'm just saying, when it comes to a few areas other than, the kitchen area, that's not even going into the kitchen, that's just the dining facility, because there's stuff in the kitchen. And so they didn't pay attention to that, and somehow I was considered mean, and I didn't understand that. They said that I ruined the movie for them. No, I didn't. No, the facts of the movie, realistically, the facts of history. That's kind of what ruined it in comparison. I didn't ruin anything. No, facts. That's what ruined your, little what have you, as far as, no. Because then think, okay, so I haven't been on a cruise, okay? How are the beds assembled? Any lamps? Any, is the furniture bolted in, or is, there's mattresses? Where do you put your luggage? And then think about the luggage back in those days. It wasn't soft luggage, it was hard case. Oh, that's a romance movie to you. I don't know. I could think of a few things to do with, I'm just saying, when it comes to that, I don't know how they find that romance. And that's from the 1990s. This is now 2022. So there's that romance, I don't know how. And so those people were all like, oh, it's so romantic. Yeah, we're going to go romance this. Yes, we are. We're going to totally go romance by going on a boat out in the middle of the oceanic waters somewhere, And then with the oceanic waters, wherever the whatever size engine with the propeller blades of whatever size. As the currents just do as they do with whatever species of what have yous are nearby. and then, okay, so again to the airborne guys, okay, so there were people who hit the metal bar. I'm just saying, I don't know. I don't think that movie was accurate when it comes to that. So there's this YouTube, I don't remember the name of the guy, but he kind of dissects, I guess pun intended, in reference to different military movies. Okay, so this, okay. So that military guy could probably and at the velocity ratio of whatever with a human body, bouncing, the keel of the ship, the hull of the ship, the bar regarding on the deck, people they just bounced off. Oh, they just bounced. Oh, really? Well, I don't believe that's how that would have occurred. I don't personally need to find out. Though I am going to point out, I don't believe that people just as the boat's going like this, part of it, and all of a sudden, there's the railing, and instead of like, you know, they just kind of, no. Splash. No, I don't believe that's how that occurred. I don't. And then what was it made out of back then? What type of metal? Oh, I don't think so. No, I don't know how these females thought it was romance. I don't. No, I can understand how the males did, because they probably had all of the blood flow in one particular area in comparison, and they were literally blinded because, you know, well, the female in this hypothetical was getting something to drink that was a little salty, you know, and so then they see the oceanic waters and they're like, romance in comparison to... I got it. I grew up as a tomboy, so I have a different viewpoint. So that's what they find romance. I don't see that as romance. I don't see that as romance, no. I see stuff on land being far more romantic. Yeah, in comparison. You know, so, you know, in comparison to that, well, you know, going out to eat, not where it's on a boat or in a boat, but, you know, okay, the water view can be nearby, you know, in comparison to being on a boat or in a boat and all that. I don't see how that's romance. Personally, I can be weird. That's fine. I acknowledge that. I don't think it's weird, though. And so, you know, or it doesn't even need to be near water. It could be inland, really far. Yeah. Like, you know, maybe there's a pond or a lake or whatever nearby, but, you know, ish. Not gonna actually be, personally, But, you know, I prefer like on land, okay, away from the water. Mainly because I know what's in the water. And so, you know, you can have water for, you know, your drink, but not, and so, I don't know. And then, you know, that stability of land in comparison to the waves going like that. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm really messed up because I find that more romantic than a cruise or going out. I don't know. I do think. So it is satire, and yet it's still the truth. I don't know, maybe it's because I also have dealt with a few things well before scuba diving, you know, because by the time the Titanic came out, I had been going to the Atlantic area, the oceanic waters since 1984, all the way up to that year, or just before that year because of the summertime. And so, yeah, okay, yeah, that's, I don't see that romantic at all, though I dealt with, you know, New Jersey and teenagers in the 1990s. How could you not see that as romance? Very easily, yeah, so easily. I really wanted to see Biodome. Finally did, and it's kind of funny because I grew up going to the shore, and one of the guys in the movie, he apparently is named Pauly Shore. And apparently he's kind of got a little bit of red hair, you know, in the irony of ironies. Nonetheless, you know, that Biodome, I could see that as romance far more. Mainly because they live, you know, so you got the main characters and they live, and then they go on together in comparison to bye. yeah, I'll just drop this off. Bye. Whatever. No, guy. Personal opinion, okay. So, I don't know what other people consider as romance. You know, it's not the same regarding, so, you know, it's a personal viewpoint as far as that's concerned. I believe in regards of romance, you're together, you know, in person, face to face in person, you actually do stuff together in comparison to that's obviously a big distance between the bottom of the ocean and like on land, duh. And so, you know, just pointing that out there, you know, you really can't do anything together in that capacity, obviously. And so, you know, then there's that, as far as that's concerned. So I've brought that up before, but people didn't see what I was talking about. They thought I was stupid for not finding the movie Titanic romantic. Made sense to me. It did. Still makes sense to me now how that movie's not romantic. Personal thing. I don't know. Leave a comment, hopefully with etiquette and respect, and let me know. Like my official YouTube video, subscribe to my official YouTube channel, share the link again to my official YouTube videos. Go to my website, www.susanbling.com, which is the same as www.ladydorybell.com. Look through my journal blog, the ornery PSA, possibly the satirical aspects could be a smidgen ornery, that's fine. And share the link to my official, you know, journal blog, the ornery PSA links. Go through and look at my artwork on my website, www.susanbling.com, which is the same as www.ladydorybell.com. And then there's the links to the books that I authored and compiled that you can go to Amazon as far as purchasing those. You guys have a great day. Today is the 13th of June, 2022. It just, you know, was a quick little thought that I decided to bring up that might just make some sense, because there are males and females I have had discussions with where they did not understand how I could not see the movie Titanic as a romance at all, whatsoever. I guess I don't know, it was before my head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000. During basic training that I thought this way about Titanic. But you know, other people had their opinion. You guys have a good day. So today's the 13th of June, 2022.